hell yeah, abolish ICE. I mean, they're coming door to door, going to people's houses, snatching people off the street, taking people who are, you know, taking part in the immigration process the way they're supposed to. How do you show up and snatch someone when they're showing up for their hearing? Like we're not. That just proves we're not trying to establish any, you know, proper, you know, chain of immigration here. We're just trying to basically get, you know, brown people off the street is what I think that they're trying to accomplish. I'd like to see the thought of a general strike being called for, because I think in the long run that might be the only way out of this mess. And I mean, listen, I mean, if you're talking about workers and the unions, like that's the infrastructure to be this tip of the spear to make the change and you know, put forth the effort that needs to happen to mobilize.
The Dropkick Murphys, as Ken Casey continually proves why he's awesome.
I'd like to see even, you know, I'm kind of scratching my head sometimes when there's not more people at these. I don't know how bad it has to get, but you know, it got pretty damn bad in Minnesota, and that's why they're, you know, fighting back the way they are, and it's so inspiring to see community stand together like that. And you know, hopefully, you know, each community doesn't have to face that on their own before, you know, we come out in the numbers we need to. I'd like to see one tragedy be enough, you know, to get us all out nationwide, but little by little, one community at a time, I think that, you know, we'll get there.
My children, recognize the police right now, rape my children, rape my children, you sick asshole. Rape my children.
Here was Michael Fanone confronting Yvonne Raiklin in a Dropkick Murphys tee, which speaks volumes.
I've had a number of Democrats on this show, former ICE officials, former border officials, a lot of them under Obama, who have said that getting rid of ICE is a bad idea, that they do important operations. They do remove dangerous people. And the idea to abolish it is, it's not only bad politics, they say, but it's not smart.
Well, I think at this moment they're incorrect. Let me explain why. As you probably know, and folks should know, ICE and DHS, the way it exists today, did not exist just a few decades ago. It is a creation of the last few years of overreach, and certainly the ICE of right now is an agency created by Donald Trump that is larger and with more resources than at any time in American history. There are functions within DHS and within ICE that could be done by other agencies. There are important functions, whether it's issues at American seaports or issues along the border, that need actual good investigative work, that are issues that agents are actually trying to work hard to ensure, for example, that drugs aren't brought into this country. But what's happening right now, what ICE is turned into, is beyond the scope of what we need in this country, and certainly to take care of the American public. And so we can have functions within DHS be handled by different agencies, but ICE in its current form cannot exist, because what they're doing right now is they're killing people in the street. They're violating due process. And Kristi Noem has to be held accountable for that. And people need to understand that this is a moment we have to have courage and stand up for the country and do the right thing.
The top Dem on the Oversight Committee, Rep. Robert Garcia, spoke on the calls to abolish ICE. Now, in the past, we have seen how Ken has gone about his business.
Fucking country and go welcome with open arms so they can build a better life. Then listen to us. If you were part of a union or working class people who were allowed to build a better life in the middle class in America, you listen to us. Because if you're out there buying those hats that these swindlers are selling at that fair, I'm sorry kids, I know there's kids here. then you're part of the problem, and I'll tell you why. Because you're being duped by the greatest swindler in the history of the world. You're being duped by a bunch of grifters and billionaires who don't give a about you or your family. They care about their tax breaks and the money they can put in their pocket. If you consider yourself a patriot and you're spouting off that election denying, I will fight you outside if you want to. Wake the up! We're working class people. These people are the rich, the billionaires, and they don't give a.
That's what makes America so actually great, that you guys can speak your mind, and I would never suggest the crowd fucking boo you or turn on you, because it's America. It's kind of a free country still. Band is willing to wager these fine, well, first of all, do you support American workers? Yeah! First, all right, American made, sir, could you both turn backwards? Don't worry, no, he just needs to check your tags on your shirt and your hat. Just need to see what that means. No, the mega shirt. Let's see what that's made.
Nicaragua!
It's made in Nicaragua! So, he is a good sport. He's taking the shirt off. We're taking crime off the street. God bless your fucking heart. That's a good sport. You get one proudly made in America Dropkick Murphys shirt. You gotta make America great again. You got the Elon Musk true Nazi version on. You wanna, let's roll the dice. Let's roll the dice. Let's see where it's made. Come on, man. Yeah, drum roll, please, man. It's got no tag, and you know what that means? It wasn't fucking made in America, I can tell you that. But we'll call it a draw, okay? And we'll give you the shirt, and hey, I appreciate you being good sports, and I will say, from the bottom of our hearts, we are the most anti-fucking MAGA band on earth, okay? But all opinions are welcome, because it's still America!
More importantly, calls for a general strike are happening. GeneralStrikeUS.com wrote, "A general strike is when working people refuse their labor until demands are met. Research shows we need 3.5% of the population, or 11 million Americans, to be successful. We've voted, we've protested, and still they ignore us. Our government refuses to meet our basic needs while the billionaire class hoards wealth and power. We cannot afford to wait any longer. Our labor is our greatest strength, and if we strike together, we can make real change." If you can, and I implore you to, please take part on the events happening on Friday. I know in Chicago they are calling for a general strike. I just came from an event, and a lot of people are participating. So get involved, form coalitions, and build community. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.